food disparities.
And I'm going to be talking about white teachers teaching black students.
So, I will be talking about food disparities. So, a food disparity is like areas where like there's food deserts, and what a food desert is, low income areas where residents are often lack access to efficient transportation and proper grocery stores. And there was a research study that Yale did, and they found that healthy foods are significantly less available, and that produce tends to be imported, poorer quality in low income areas than in wealthy neighborhoods. And that was in 2008. And racism also plays a part in this, because black people, we don't have access to high paying jobs. So because of that, we aren't able to retrieve the high food access, like the healthy food access that we need. So people in the community tend to be obese. So in another article from 2023, food deserts often rooted in systemic racism, and in Lawrence, Massachusetts, they have a high Black and Latino population, but the city only has 2 supermarkets. So residents turn to the bodegas, which they have like 86 corner stores, and people go there instead of like the supermarkets because they don't really have access to it, and it's more convenient and efficient. So 80% of the population live in a food desert, and 2/3 of the Lawrence population are obese, one of the highest rates in the state. So because of what I just explained, like people, they don't have access to the healthy foods and qualities that they need because of money, and also just it's not within reach of the neighborhood. Like they have to like travel really far just to go to like a grocery store within reach. So, and yeah, I live in the South End, which is like a highly like white community, but even so, like there's not really, well, the specific area I live in, there's not really like a grocery store that's really close to me, unless I go to like South Boston, and that's like Stop and Shop, and like that's not really like, without a car it's not like that accessible. So there's like a little mini mart like across the street from me, but it's not really ideal because it's too expensive and there's not that many food options there. So I tend to like not shop there. But the white people, like they have money, so like they shop there all the time, but the prices are just way like too expensive, and it's just like the food doesn't really last that long, I think. And yeah, it causes like, I haven't really seen that many like black people or any like other people like shop there besides like the white people. So I think it causes like a drive away from that store because it's just too expensive and not convenient. So yeah.
So what made you want to research this topic?
Yesterday on my lunch break, I wanted to eat something healthy because I'm trying to like eat healthier, but there wasn't really that many options around here in Dorchester. So yeah, I was just like, oh, like there's not really like that many healthy food options here, and I thought that was weird because like in all the white neighborhoods they have like all the good foods, but like when you go into the black communities you only see like fast food restaurants and like the convenience stores, which also sell like not healthy foods and like a bunch of like junk food and stuff.
Okay, so would you want to see more stores like that here, like you personally?
I mean, yes, I would like to, but like also like the government has a play in that, like, you know. So like we could protest or like do whatever, but it's like the government, they need to make a change. And it also, I feel like it also has a role in gentrification, like you were talking about, that like the people are being like driven away because of like a reason like this. There's not much access to the food that they need. So
No, I think you were talking about it yesterday. It was like it also causes like this, you also said something like this is why a lot of black people always have like diabetes and stuff because they're around a lot of fast food places that
yeah.
they're not good for you, and that's like the only things that are around here. You know, I don't complain about it because I like it, but maybe I want to eat healthier in the future. So do you have anything more to add about your topic, or are we going?
Yes, I do, but yeah, I'll play a quick song and then I'll get into the rest later when I come back.
Do I click it right here? Click one of them. All right, guys, it's gonna be in a quick music break, so stay tuned. Is it playing? It says it's playing. Hands up.
Oh God, oh, oh, oh. You are the source of my strength. You are the strength of my life. I lift my hands in total praise to you, to you. You are the source of my strength. You are the strength of my life. I lift my hands in total praise to you, to you. Everybody say you are, yeah, yeah. Come on, everybody, tell the Lord the strength of my life. I lift my hands. Total praise to you, to you. Oh, Lord, you are, hey, the source of my
Can you hear me? All right, and we're back. That was a good music break, you know.
So, the next thing I will be talking about is ways to make more healthy food accessible within communities, low-income communities. So, there's a website called Let's Move, and basically what they are doing, they want to make they want like actions done like throughout the community. So establishing a food policy council, which is a food policy is an area of public policy concerning how food is produced, processed, distributed, processed, or provided. So I guess like doing that within like the communities would be a good way of like knowing where the food has come from and like how it's being processed, you know, if it's like in a lab or like GMO, you know, stuff like that. And increasing enrollment in SNAP benefits, which is food stamps, and support the sale of local foods across the community by encouraging farmers markets. I know that in Copley, where it's like the Green Line near Back Bay, they have farmers markets. I don't know how often they do it, but they do have farmers markets over there, and they're pretty nice, so you can check them out if you want to. And ensure that residents across healthy and affordable food through public transportation by realigning bus routes, providing free shuttles. So as of, I think it was 2022 it started, I didn't know that, but as of like right now, there's a few bus routes that are free. So I think the 23, the 28, and the 29, they're like all free until March 2026. There might be more buses that are free, but I know those 3 are free as of right now. So you can get on the bus without like paying whatever. And then another part I have is to encourage more access to healthy food choices, such as attracting and opening supermarkets in undeserved neighborhoods, selling healthy foods at reduced prices, and limiting the total number of per capita fast foods restaurants in a community. And increased evaluation and funding for existing efforts is needed to continually improve programs and resources for affected communities. So if like healthy food is also expensive, so that's why people tend to like shy away from it. So if people were to reduce the prices, more people would be getting it, because the reason people buy junk food is because it's like cheap, kind of, even though like that's going up, but and it's like more accessible. So like if healthier foods were like, I don't know, in corner stores or something, like it would be like so much better, and also making like more supermarkets in the communities and neighborhoods and taking down the fast food restaurants. But yeah, that's all I really have.
Okay, so now we're going to start talking about white teachers teaching black students and like how it affects the environment. So I have a couple of quotes and like some of the sources from these websites I use. So first is Education Week. That's the website I used. And it says, for black and brown children in the United States, a major part of their schooling experience is associated with white female teachers who have no understanding of their culture. Another quote says, I do not think white teachers enter the profession wanting to harm kids of color, but they will hurt a child whose culture is viewed as an afterthought. So that basically just says how like students feel like, most students who have white teachers could feel like they're not as valued as the other white kids, and that their race is just something that's basically shadowing them. Like that's just who they're defined to be. Then another thing I found was on Indiana Capitol Chronicle, where these people did like a research project to analyze data about like black students and teachers in that class. So it says, education researchers who specialize in cultural and racial justice issues believe that they're finding light to shine on how often educators hold racial biases against the students they've been entrusted to teach. The racial biases come to light when they conducted focus groups with teachers and students to ask them about their school's culture and experiences within the classroom and discipline. Of the teachers who participated in the focus groups, 84% were white. During the focus groups, 36 out of 38 teachers voiced a stereotype at least once, and some did up to 10 times. That just shows how, like, even when teachers aren't trying to be racist or say little stereotypes and microaggressions, that still comes up, and kids notice it and do also have an opinion about that as well. Another source I went on was American Economic Association, and there's more research about it too. It says, recent research has put a spotlight on the benefits of teachers being the same race as their students, leading to calls for more diversity and from the blackboard. But most studies have only focused on short-term outcomes such as attendance and test scores, and those may not translate to real gains. And a quote from Seth Gershenson, he said, "We can do better with the teaching force that we currently have by being more thoughtful about how student teachers assignments happen in a strategic way. Even having one exposure to a teacher of the same race matters." So that just goes to connecting to, like, the white teachers and black students. It shows how, like, black teachers, it needs to be more diversity in these classrooms so we can benefit from each other instead of just benefiting from a white teacher who, you know, might not be as in depth with the culture as you are. And, you know, it just talks about how, like, just it needs to be more diversity in the educational system. And I'm going to talk about some of my personal experiences in MECO. And, like, so I've had only all white teachers my whole life. I've never had one black teacher. My sister had a black teacher in 8th grade, but I've only had all white teachers. And, you know, for me, like, I didn't really have a problem with it. Like, I was around most white people all the time anyways. You know, a lot of the teachers never really did anything to me or say anything to me, but some have, like, said little stuff, and they might not know it's racist, even substitutes, actually, but they might not know it's racist or it's offensive. And, you know, it might be a snarky little comment, and, you know, I might have brushed it off. Me and my friend just looked at each other and brushed it off. But, you know, teachers do say stuff, and it also that affects how teachers and students get along with each other. Like, that makes us me, at least that made me not want to, like, connect with any of my teachers. You know, and even some teachers, though, like, some of my teachers have also even pulled me aside and said, you know, I know you're in MECO. Like, some do care, I feel like, because one teacher in 8th grade pulled me aside and said, I know you're in MECO, and I know you get home late and stuff, so if you ever need help or anything, email me. So I do think some teachers do care and, like, are sensitive about, like, black students, but a lot have said certain stuff. Like, I've had a situation with a substitute in my class, and I had about 5 other black kids in there, and he's like, he said some offensive stuff to some of us, and we reported it, obviously. But it's like, they think a lot of people think it's funny, or it's like it's not serious, and kids actually feel a way about that. But I also feel like I said, there are some good teachers. Like, my African American history teacher, I liked him a lot, and a lot of the kids in our class, I actually liked going to his class because I feel like he was a white teacher talking about black history. Like, I understand that it might not sound right, but he actually, I feel like he was open and honest with the students. Like, he wasn't lying about stuff that he did. Like, we would have conversations, like, we've asked him, have you said the N-word before? And he was honest. He said, yeah, in high school, you know, I said it and I'm not proud of it. But at least we want teachers. A lot of black students prefer a white teacher who's open and honest with them and actually gives them good feedback about slavery and stuff, rather than a teacher who's sugarcoating things. So I feel like that was a good teacher as well. And I feel like we had good conversations, and he actually pushed us. So I actually like that class a lot. And yeah, I just feel like not all teachers are bad and, you know, I say snarky little things to kids, but it is like a big thing in the schooling system in the United States in general. There's a lot of just kids who feel a way towards their teacher. So now we're gonna go on another music break, and then we'll come back and I'll tell you guys all the negatives and negatives about white teachers teaching black students and things that we can do to change this and even maybe fix the problem. So we'll be right back with this music break.
Shackled by excuses. Watching everybody fly past me. Can't keep pointing fingers. No, no, no. All talk but very little action. Won't change the conclusion. Been losing way too long. It seems you've lost your faith. You can't keep lying there, hoping something will change. Jesus came along to point this out to you. You're already strong. This is what you should do. Take up your bed and walk. Take up your bed and walk. Take up your bed and walk. He said, take up your bed. Take up your bed and take up your bed and take up your bed and walk. Yesterday wasn't fair. Some things were not your fault, but you survived, thank God. And with each new day comes possibility and brand new mercy. But winning is your responsibility. You gotta walk. Take up your bed and walk. Take up your bed and walk. He said, take up your bed. Take up your bed and take up your bed and take up your bed and walk. Take up your bed and walk. Take up your bed and walk. He said, take up your bed. Take up your bed and take up your bed and take up your bed and walk.
All right, and we're back. So that was a pretty good song, you know? All right, so now we're going to talk about all the negatives aspects of white teachers teaching black students. So first thing is white teachers might not fully understand black students' cultural backgrounds, which can impact the classroom dynamics and student engagement, and also, even this like student to student engagement as well. So basically, like black students, if a white teacher is not trying to fully understand or try to engage with like a black student's past or like racial anything, you know, a black student's gonna want to engage. Like I've done that before. I feel like teachers have said snarky little things and stuff. I didn't really like them. I wouldn't want to talk to them. So I can totally like agree to that one. Like if teachers are not trying to fully understand this when we go through, then obviously we're not gonna want to be as engaged with them and into the class dynamic at all. Another thing is the lack of black teachers can make a black student feel less represented and supported in school, because I feel like black staff in school makes other like black kids feel uplifted and feel like they can go to someone when they need help, like not just having to automatically go to a white teacher with certain problems that they might not get. Like there's more black teachers or staff in general in schools, then we could feel more represented in those schools, not just because there's black kids, but because there's black staff. That also shows kids like, okay, black staff could do this too. Like I can be in a school with all white teachers and stuff. So I think that's something that's really important and needs to be pushed more. Another thing that's negative is while teachers' unconscious biases can affect how they treat black students, including discipline and grading. So they can already have like certain biases about a black student or like a black student's character, like automatically think, oh, they don't do homework, oh, they're gonna act up in my class, this and that. And that automatically just like goes to a kid's, that automatically is gonna, that's how they're gonna think about the kid the whole time. That's gonna go to their grading and how they get disciplined. And you know, it just, if they get in trouble, it just also goes to show like, okay, if this kid did something small, you're gonna take it an extra mile rather than a white kid doing something, you're sweeping under the rug. Like it shows how that also would change things. And I have some things that can help or change this problem, like in schools in general. So one is continuous training in cultural awareness and anti-racism, which can help white teachers better support black students. So just if they're having like, I know teachers do a lot of training for like when they're teaching like teachers new stuff so they can teach kids. So I feel like you should do training on like cultural awareness and race and stuff, just so they know to be aware of certain things they say and what they do around these children who are watching them. And you know, Another thing is building trust and understanding between white teachers and black students is crucial for like positive educational experiences. So if you're building trust with these students and you're allowing them to go to you for anything and you're feeling like it's a safe environment where they won't be judged off their race, they're going to want to go to you and they're going to want to learn and they're going to want to have fun in the class no matter who's in there. Another thing is teachers who respect and value black students' cultural identities can boost their confidence and motivation. So if they're like uplifting them and telling them, you know, I'm here for you, you know, I know what you could be going through in classes, because it's hard for black students to go to schools, well, predominantly white kids or even just a lot white teachers, like they might not feel understood. So if teachers motivating them and telling them that they can do something and they're no matter the skin color, they can achieve their goals, then that's going to make that's going to boost a kid's confidence. Another thing is white teachers working with black families and communities can help support student success through strong partnership. So if a kid is struggling and white teachers are taking initiative to see that these kids are struggling, and they're talking to their families about it, that can help build like a strong support system for them, and they can get help in school and out of school for tutoring or any type of help that they need, because, you know, they're getting the resources because the teacher is paying attention and taking initiative to push forward. And I've actually seen that. I've actually seen one of these in the movie Freedom Writers, when there was a white teacher and she came to a predominantly black school, all black students, maybe one white kid in her class, and they didn't like her at first, you know, and she had to learn how to cope with it, and she had to learn how to like connect to them on a different level. She was talking more about race and stuff, and she was trying to connect with them, and they finally connected with her, and they actually liked her at the end, which is really good. And that's actually based on a true story, by the way. Another thing is hiring more black teachers is important to provide diverse role models and close the representation gap. So like I said earlier, if there are more black teachers, black students can feel like they have someone to advocate for them and they're being represented through these teachers, not just having to advocate for themselves, but they can also go to another teacher to talk to. You know, even if they're not your teacher, you can see them in the hallway, say hi. You can go to the classroom if you want to cool off. You can do so many things with these black teachers because they have a support system where you can feel like you're heard. And the last thing is teaching materials that reflect diverse perspectives can create a more inclusive environment for all students. So like I said, like teaching more about slavery and stuff like that, because in schools they only really teach us about civil rights, you know, that's like the only thing to them in their mind that was important. But you have to talk about the things that led up to civil rights and things after civil rights. You can't just keep talking about the one thing that's like, I mean, it is important in history, but that's not the only thing that's like big for black people. There's other things. So if you're talking about more like other slavery stuff and you're getting more into depth with stuff, kids are gonna feel like, okay, you actually care about it and you want my ancestor stories to be heard. So yeah, these are all the things that like that can help change this problem between the black students and teachers and their dynamics in the classroom.
What made you want to talk about that?
Like what made me want to talk about it is because like I think something I brought up yesterday, I forgot what it was, but I think we're just talking in general, and I was like, I'm just gonna talk about this because, you know, I had all white teachers and I kind of experienced some of this stuff, so I was like, I could probably put my own input into this and actually give some feedback. All right, well, I think that's all for today's interview. I hope you guys actually like the songs that we played, and there's more coming tomorrow at 12 o'clock, so tune in tomorrow. Bye.